Hi, my name is Eliza Canner, and I am the New England Campus Coordinator for Stand With Us, which is an international nonprofit organization with the goals to fight anti-Semitism and support Israel across the globe. As the New England Campus Coordinator, I have the opportunity to work with college students across New England and support them as they support Israel on their campuses. Thank you so much to Know Before You Go for inviting me today to speak about grassroots organizing and how it can be effective on college campuses. I'll be answering a few questions for you all today so you can learn how you too can organize grassroots movements on your college campuses. The first question is, what is grassroots organizing or a grassroots movement? Grassroots organizing can best be described as when people who are drawn together by something that they have in common that is affecting them both personally as well as their community. And these individuals decide that they want to solve the problem. These movements may start with one or two people who are first to speak out, and then they gain support from like-minded individuals in their community. The second question is, what sets grassroots movements apart from other movements? First, these groups are locally based. They may start in a neighborhood, at a college or university, a synagogue, or another local organization, and they develop from needs or experiences shared by the people in that community. Usually speaking, these movements are volunteer-based. There's usually a leader or a group of leaders, but there are no elected officials. Membership is based on being one of those affected by the cause, and there could be a few or a few hundred. And grassroots movements only exist as long as the issue is unresolved. The third question is, how is a grassroots movement organized? And today I'll be walking you through how to organize a grassroots movement by sharing with you all one of the most successful grassroots movements I saw on campus this year. University of Massachusetts Amherst has been a battleground for anti-Israel rhetoric for a number of years. They have an active Students for Justice in Palestine student organization on campus, as well as a professor who helps mobilize anti-Israel efforts on campus. It was announced that a mega panel of anti-Israel speakers was coming to campus last semester. In spring 2019, there was a similar event on campus, which of course caused controversy. The Jewish and pro-Israel students wanted to stand up and fight and try to persuade the university to not allow these speakers to address the UMass community. They held a number of alternative events, but in the end, the event did take place, and a packed lecture hall learned about the Boycott, Divestment, and Sanctions Movement, or BDS, and why universities like UMass should involve themselves in the BDS movement. This year, when the mega panel was announced, the students and the UMass Hillel came together and they said they wanted to take a different approach. So they first identified the problem or issue, which was the mega panel of BDS speakers coming to campus. Next, they identified who else would be affected by the problem and who cares. They identified other Jewish and pro-Israel students on campus, as well as the community at large, including professors, alumni, as well as administration. The planning started with a small group, which was actually led by UMass senior and the current Stand With Us high school coordinator, Stephanie Margolis. The small task force, which consisted of a few student leaders and professionals from UMass Hillel, talked through ideas and pointed to a solution. If the mega panel was going to come in and say, Israel is bad, don't support Israel, rather than trying to fight these voices, they decided that they would go a different route, and they wanted to focus on peace and the peace process. The next step of a grassroots movement is to create a working plan. The task force put together a number of contingency plans, factoring in what type of event would be effective, where and when they should hold the event, and what would be the best marketing plan to advertise the event to the community at large. They decided to hold a peace walk on the same day as the mega panel. The walk would start in the town center, and then the group would walk past the Fine Arts Center where the mega panel was being held. The walk would then conclude at a space on campus where an alternative event promoting nuanced discourse would take place. They had a number of student speakers who shared what peace meant to them, and they also invited a number of grassroots organizations that shared the same mission. The next step in organizing a grassroots movement is to identify anyone of influence who may advocate for them and reach out to them to get involved. This could be individuals or groups that could provide resources, such as funding, marketing materials, and a platform to get their message out to the masses. The task force organized calls with pro-Israel organizations who could provide them with the additional support. And this was a wonderful example of the power and the strength that the pro-Israel community can have when we work in partnership. With all grassroots movement, communication is vital. The UMass students used media, especially social media, to be in contact with like-minded individuals to join them on the day of the event. Nearly 100 people showed up for the walk and filled the event space with people who love Israel and are advocating for peace. This movement at the University of Massachusetts is a wonderful example of the power students have to create positive change with grassroots organizing. If a problem is identified on your campus, rather than thinking that you're the only student who can tackle the situation, think about the power that you would have if you mobilize a group of individuals who care about the same issue and want to be a part of the solution. As college students, you have the ability to make change. The world listens when college students speak up and speak out. So make sure that they are hearing the right voices and message. I wish you all the best of luck as you embark on your collegiate career. Take advantage of the resources you have to be an advocate for Israel on campus.